All right. Hey, good morning, folks. So, yesterday we refactored our collage application. So, today we'll be converting it into a HTTP service and then try to deploy it somewhere. We need to figure that part out as well, but yeah, let's see. So, if I go to the collage, alright. So, yesterday I was playing around with it a little bit to figure out some patterns around concurrency. So let me revert those changes back to where it was on back to where we left yesterday on the stream. Yeah, I will get rid of this commit as well. I'll just go back to update readme. Let me just do a git fetch origin. Yeah, I think like actually this is fine. I have committed push this change to GitHub, but I don't want it there, so I'll just override it to a force with lease. Actually, force would be required here, I think. Okay, this is fine. Let's refresh here. Yeah, I think we're back to where we left yesterday. So now let's first run the application once, see everything is working as expected. So in my current directory, I don't want any collage images, so let me get rid of them. We are good. Let me also, in the ignore file, we have a JPEG filter. Not sure where the image is coming from, but okay. Let's run the application, or let's build and run the application. So we'll go build and then we'll run the binary. Currently profiling is enabled. I also want to disable it. This slows down the process a little bit and we don't want that. So with this we have this collage.jpg file. If we open this file, we see this collage, which is what we wanted. So this is all looking good. Okay, apparently Siri thought I called it. Okay, so this is all looking good. The next thing would be holy, seems like there has been a lot of frame drops so far. I don't know why. Connection seems stable, but I think like around 900 frame drops, which is significant, but hopefully it doesn't increase beyond this. I'll keep monitoring this, but yeah, let's see. Okay, so the service is working currently as we left it off yesterday. So let's sort of build a simple HTTP server, and on a this should actually be like a post request to a particular route, or a get request to a particular route. But I think like, yeah, get is also fine, because with post I don't think everybody would be able to access this. This is something that everybody should be able to access, so a get route is fine. And then if you go to that route, we basically, rather than saving the image, we just sort of send it back, right? So what I think we can do is like we can do a http.listen and serve. We provided, say, put 8080, and there is the default serve mux, and we do a http handle func. I think in our case we do provide it a pattern, so let's say like a slash itself, and then the func would be w, which is http response writer, and then star r would be http request. This is the signature, although it's not really doing autocomplete here. http request, yeah, it's a star on the http request, not on r. So this should be fine, and if I close this off, Yeah, and now I think all I want to do here is like let's first disable the profiling. We want to take this bit, right? You don't want to call save collage, so we'll just take this bit and let's move this out. So let's remove this line, or let's comment this out. Let's take all of this, let's paste it here, right? Now once we have the manipulated image, right, so we want to send it back, we'll do fmt dot fprintf. We take io writer. No, we don't want to do fprintf, right? So because we have image, yeah, actually I'm not sure how to deal with this. Like we want to convert this into something that can be sent back, right? So we can do like w.write maybe, because this takes in a byte slice. So let's see how can we convert image into byte slice. Can we? I'm not sure like if we can directly pass this. Yeah, this is what we want, right? Exactly what we want. So creating a new bytes buffer, and yeah, okay, like say the same way you sort of the same way you store it to disk, you do this the same thing here as well. So no different than that. Okay, let's start with this and we'll see like if there's a better way to do it. So we do like a buffer is new bytes, and then we do a jpeg encode. To this we pass the buffer, which is a IO writer, and the image, which is manipulated collage. We need to do that. This is the collage, and then we don't need any parameters, so we'll pass in nil. And does this give us back an error? Yeah, it does, but we won't handle it till we get the image working. Suppose that we will. So buffer by itself is of invalid type apparently. How is that? Do I have to do like a new bytes? I don't think like doing new is any different than this, but let's see. New bytes. Oh, this is bytes buffer actually. Okay. Yeah, bytes buffer. I don't think I did the same thing, because this will now have a type of bytes. No. Okay, let's try this. Yeah, it still says the same thing, so I don't know what's up with this. Oh, there seems to be an error here. Oh, what was going on in there? Okay, now it's throwing errors, right? Like here that buff wouldn't work as IO writer. Is this happy now? Yeah, apparently this is happy. I think this is now returning. Okay, I think we can do it in this way. That might work. Yeah, this would work, right? New does the same thing. So we store this buffer here. I think what we can do is we can just do a write and then pass it buff. But what does buff give us back? Buffer, right? So we want bytes out of it. So this would give us back byte slice. Yeah. Now I think like we might need to configure other things, but let's go ahead with this. Let's do a go run, or let's do a go build. Run the collage application. So it's running. We go to HTTP localhost 8080. Yeah, so it calls all this. Yeah, it seems to be working fine. Although why is it still logging these files? I don't know, because the image was already created. So oh, the image is quite big. Okay, let me run it once more. What happens then? Oh, okay, it keeps appending for some reason, and we don't want that to happen, right? Like I think something is happening incorrectly where it's I think like it needs to clear something when each request ends. Basically what happens here is that we download the images, we'll download images, we'll download the pictures. Let's do a len of I think like it keeps on adding the images and so on. So the draw part also gets bigger with every request. I think this is fine, but then and this is okay. Suddenly like there's one more request and then it added more on top of it. This would probably be the, we'll have to do some logging, but I'm not sure. And this is already 202. This is 303. So I think like this is already 3 times, and then there are more requests. So let's do a few changes. Go to main. Let's change this slash to a. Right, that's 1. And then can we why isn't there a cleanup after this? Like this should get cleaned up as soon as this request ends, even if there are multiple requests. I don't know like why it would, even if there are like multiple calls to it, it shouldn't keep appending. That is strange. But let's see, like if we, is it like a, I'm thinking like it's maybe like a favicon thing where it's like getting too many requests, but again like too many requests shouldn't really matter here. But let's see. So there's one request, and then also like this time Okay, this is fine. I'm not sure why the number is 100. I don't see any repetition here. Okay, I see repetition, but then like that is happening in a weird way. This is also strange. So do we have 5 rows? It is happening here, but then you see like Alia here. This person is from somewhere else. This person. It's a bit difficult to tell like where it's slicing the other array from. Although it's filling up the missing ones. So it's 5 times 24 right now. And if I refresh again, more importantly, let's see how many. Yeah, it keeps adding. So this is not correct actually. This is quite strange, like the way it's handling things. I think is there something happening like, so this is where we want to clear up the buffer at least. I think like the buffer part is something that we need to clear. We would need to build, so let me just do go run main.go. No, okay. Wouldn't do anything until I go to the URL. So 101 and clear, right? So I think okay, let's see. I think do we have to return or do something? Because it seems like it's not really ending the request correctly. Let's see. We do a handle func, the handler does a fprintf. On the response writer, sending back this string. Okay, let me run this one more time. Check the response here. I think it ends without any issues as such, but let's still see. So we request this A. Alright, so A sort of does a 200. It knows it's a JPEG image. Yeah, I don't see any issues. Let me clear the cache here, request it again. Okay, it seems like I'm not sure like how the buffer is persisting, because like each with each request this should sort of spin up a new buffer, right? But let's see, is there like a buffer has a method to clean up? Yeah, I think there's a reset method on it. Resets the buffer to empty and puts, okay, hopefully this, like, even if it's working, I am still not sure why it sort of does this behavior. Yeah, I think it's a problem. Okay, I think, yeah, I realized that like it's not a problem with the buffer actually, because the number keeps incrementing, right? So we are printing the pictures and the pictures still sort of get bigger, so maybe picture is what we need to reset. So we have download pictures, right? So we go back here. Download picture is something that calls get HTML. right? Pictures is getting updated every time, right? Um, how do we empty a slice? So the best way to empty a slice is the nil slice is the preferred way. So resetting it to 0. Setting it to nil. I think we can start by setting it to nil. So I think as soon as I get the pictures here, I draw the collage. And these pictures, by the way, are sort of coming in from get pictures. So get pictures is actually the source of the problem, it seems. But for now, if I just do pictures is equal to nil and then try it out. Should be /a. Okay, let's see. The first time it's fine. Let's do second time. Yeah, it still keeps adding. It's really strange. Yeah, it still keeps adding. So if I do a len of pictures, so I think like it's probably then the why is this len of picture value of int is I think it's the way that it's storing in the package, the download package maybe. It's sort of persisting there, that might be the issue. So first time it's 101. Yeah, the next time is also incrementing, and probably the reason for this is that it's from the source itself it's increasing. So because we have the option to debug it, because we have written the source ourselves, so I think we can go ahead and look there. We do a get pictures and send back pictures, right? So but this thing is in memory, right? So like this sort of, I think like I'm not sure like if it remains like a global state, I feel, and it shouldn't, because I've defined it here. So let's see how we are using pictures and can we sort of work around it. So get pictures, return pictures. I think like we can, if we move this right here to get pictures right here, and then what we can do is we can just pass it around. So we just pass it to what requires it, right? Like we require picture URL, download picture URLs. So there is this function download image requires it. and we can pass it there, right? So picture urls, download images, would you pass it to this one, call it pictures, right? And then we will go to download images, so we'll have to pass it through a couple of functions. This would be pictures, this will take in this would be a picture data array, or slice rather. What is it not happy about? We are not missing a, okay, yeah, it's correct. This is not TypeScript. I'll do something like this. Hopefully this works, and then we forward it back to download image, and there we'll take this parameter as well. So it will be called pictures, and it would be a slice of picture data, right? Let me add a comma here as well, and then we just keep appending to the image. Hopefully this works. We don't have any global state, and yeah, I think that should hopefully be fine. No, okay, we broke something. Okay, so maybe something is using pictures in such a way that it's not working as expected. So let's see, pictures, we append to the pictures the picture data, so this looks fine. Yeah, we pass it here. I don't know if you want to pass it by reference, or should it just be pass it by, what did it say? Cannot use value pointer to, okay, let's log the pictures here. Okay, it seems like every time it's writing to the slice, it's getting a copy of it rather than a reference, and that's why the slice has always just one thing in it, right? So the way I'm thinking is like we just do pass by reference. So we start by passing picture here as a reference, right? And then we go to download images. We take in a reference here as well. This is a pointer. We pass, this is fine. I think like it's already a reference, so we just say that this is a pointer. I think this should be fine. But now, like, can we append so we'll say like to the pointer. Yeah, we can't do pointer append, right? Okay, what if we do this? This is already getting too confusing. You cannot append. Yeah, we are trying to append like various kind of things. Let me remove all the references. Let's see, this is a struct, and to pass slice by reference. So let's see like what are the patterns around it. Yeah, this answers our question, like is it passed by value or passed by reference? Everything in Koba is passed by value, slices too, but slices have a header describing the digit section of a packing array, and the slice value only contains a pointer to the array where the element is actually stored. Okay, and the slice value only contains a pointer to the array where the elements are stored. So we have an example. So here's a struct, and they're cloning it. Okay, they have created a method on it to clone it. Okay. How would you update a slice while passing it to a function is what we are wondering. So what we are doing here is we have this slice here, right? Slice of picture data, and then we send it over to download images, which in turn sends it to download image, right? And we in here, I think somewhere here there is the append. Yeah, we append the pictures right here. So this is why we were having a global state, because we didn't have to pass it around. Yeah, this is what we want. So what is suggested here, that you make a slice, you pass it to no return, you append it, but then you are appending a is equal to you don't return anything. What do you do with this a then? So when you return, you get the same slice back, I think. And then if you return back, you get a appended array. You don't have to return slice if you are updating. You don't have to return the slice if you are updating item in the slice without adding new to. Yeah, I think we'll have to do pointers. I don't see any way around it. This is the only answer, is it? Yeah, let's do that. Let's do the review the way we were doing it. So here we will pass by a reference, right? So this is one, and then if we go to download images, so here we get a pointer to the slice, and this is already a pointer, so we don't need to change this. This thing would be now taking in pointer to this slice. Yeah, and then what is this type? This is also, so this would be a pointer what just happened? Okay, so this would be a pointer, and then okay, so it's currently complaining because to this you cannot append a literal value, right? So we pass this by pointer as well, so this is fine, but this is not really fine, but let's see what it's expecting. You cannot use append. If I get rid of this assignment, and then let's see what it tells us. Okay, it's still throwing errors. Yeah, and the same error. So the error is here. What do we pass to it, right? I think the value, does the value have to be, no values, so cannot use append and picture data literal value of type picture data as in assignment. Okay, is it assignment that is a problem now? Hopefully this is the only thing. No, append picture and picture value to data is not value type. Oh, it's not used. Okay, that is fine. So this is currently a pointer to picture data, right? So that should have been fine, but if you add a pointer here, oh nice, but then earlier it was the same thing as well. Okay, but it's double pointer, right? Like, but we are doing the same thing here as well. Okay, yeah, we're accessing the value at that pointer so that we can append it. Okay, it makes sense, and then we are updating the picture value similarly. Okay, so if we run this, go back here, this is 8080/a. Go, the best programming language. And why is it Go? Yeah, I'm using Go because I had built this application earlier in Node to sort of scrape the data from a website, and I can walk you guys through it as well. But it sort of goes to a site, downloads all the images. Earlier I was doing this in Node, and then sort of spinning up Puppeteer, which is basically headless Chrome, and then sort of generating these images using like HTML and CSS. But the problem with this is with that was earlier that it was taking a lot of time to crawl the data and then sort of spin up a new browser, load the style sheet, load the HTML, right? And that is why I'm sort of converted this program into Go now, and hopefully it is a little bit more faster than before. Actually it is, like it's at least a couple magnitude faster than before, so it's working as expected. Now we were facing a challenge where like every time I refresh the page it was appending the images multiple times. Hopefully it doesn't do that now, and the way we fixed it is we moved the global state to local state. Let's see. If I do GD, yeah, so earlier we had this global state here which persisted across requests. So now what I did is I just moved it here within the get pictures, and it sort of like gets refreshed every time, it gets deallocated every time I send a new request. All right, okay, so this is working as expected. Let's give it a few more tries, although the server is down. So let's do go run main.go. I do want to add some caching headers to this so that at least for the same user the request is faster, but we will see. Yeah, you see, like it scrapes every time, which I feel is not really helpful. I think like doing it, uh, like having a cache for say at least a day or half a day is, or like at least like we can't do like a half a day, or at least like say like several hours is fine. So let's go ahead and add that. So if I go over here, yeah, we are doing w dot right here. We can do w dot header dot set. Is it set or add? I'm never sure. I think we can do key values. So this can be key and value. So this would be cache control, and this would be, let's do 36. Let's do 36,000 and let's make it public. I think this is the correct word. Let's correct way to do the cache control, but let's see. Cache control headers, like how do you sort of make them public and all of that. So yeah, I do need to add max age as well. Is there no example here? So I did public, and I think we do like a max age in front of this. So max age equal to 36,000. Yeah, this looks fine, public, and then we can I think they want public upfront, or maybe it's a convention, so we'll do the same thing here, public, and yeah, that should be it. I want to check what does the immutable header do. Indicates as the response would not change over time. The resource is expired and it doesn't change on the server, therefore the client should not send a conditional revalidation. I think we should not add this right now, because the image can change, not immediately, but over time it might change. So yeah, okay. Okay, so going back to our application, we run it, and then if I refresh the first time, I think like it might be slow while it processes it, but the second time, okay, now it's second time it's also processing it the similar way. So let's see if we have the right headers. Yeah, we have cache control and a max age as well. But what is the time it takes? It takes around 3 seconds. Yep. Let's see the, okay, it could be the server that I'm running. The local server doesn't have the ability to do that, but let's see here. What kind of headers did we have? So the first time this takes a while to load. As you can see, it takes some time to get the resource, and it didn't even log it properly. But then the second time it's immediate, so this is waiting for the byte, and this is just content download. So if we look at it here, the cache control is max age 3600. We have similar headers here as well. So you cache control public max age. Yeah, I'm not sure why it's not the next request should be significantly faster, because it's happening on like the caches should be already resolved, is what we are expecting. Yeah, public here, I don't think it makes any difference if I add it up front or in the back. What other headers are there? So these are all fine. Like there's an age thing, but I'm not sure about this. What is our request? So this looks all good. Okay, I think like once we deploy it to the server, we'll figure it out. So the next thing we want to do is figure out where to deploy it. Just give me a second. Let me figure that out as well. So can we deploy to Vercel? So Go is supported there. So I just need to write a handler, not even a handler func. Okay, so let's do this. What we need to start with is not creating so many errors. Let's create a API directory /API, and this would be called, I think, like index.go. Can we do this? Oh, didn't realize like it was possible, but yeah, nice. So once we are here, we will create a, is it a, so is it a main function? No, it's a handler package that we create. So so we'll create a package called handler, and what's the function called? It's called handler as well. So it's called function handler, and what it basically, oh, it's a just HTTP handler, right? So we'll just take in the following parameters. So we'll grab them from here. We paste them here, right? So the next thing to do over here is just to grab all of this. Yeah, paste it over here. This will bring in more packages, and I think like that is pretty much it. Yeah, I think we don't need to do anything more than this. As per note, the exported function needs to be include a handler func signature. Okay, so this is a handler, but it has a handler func, but handler func I think has a, oh no, this is handler func, and the one we were using in our main is handle func. Okay, so this is fine. Then I think we can close this one out. We can save this, right? Now I don't want to commit the collage, so let me remove this, right? I think everything else we can add, and let's do a get diff on this. So we add this index, which is fine. We move the state for the picture around, so that is fine. I think we need to get rid of this println. Yeah, I think like everything else looks fine. We should also revert back the main. So we should do like check out main, or maybe do I get reset main and then do I get check out main go? Just give me a second, I'll be back. Okay, we are back, folks. So yeah, we were going to check out main go. So in this case we'll just commit these two files, one where we have updated the download.go to remove the global state, and then the other one where we have created this API function. So let's commit this refactor and API func. So let's commit this up, right? Changes should be here. Yep. So now I think what we can do is I can go to Vercel and see if we can get this working. Let's see. So we'll add one more project here. This would be our Git repo. So let's grab this URL, continue. Yeah, so what does this say? Please select a directory. Okay, I think like we'll have to read up on the documentation on how to deploy Go projects. I don't know like what is their expectation, because like we already have this API directory. Is there a specific structure they are looking for, or yeah, I'm not too sure. Like what does the, like, does it have to be a next app? I don't know. I have done this with Netlify but not with Vercel. Both of these aren't primarily services to deploy Go applications, right? Like I don't think Go developers would be using these services to deploy their functions. So if this were a next application, this would have worked, but then I don't want it to be a next application. That is it. So what it's saying is please select a directory within it that contains the project source code. Let's for a second just continue with this. Let's see what happens. Framework. Hey, there's no framework, man. Yeah, this is all like from front-end perspective, which in our case is not the case. How do we define the, can we define the, for that matter, like I go back to Go runtime is used by Vercel to compile Go serverless function and expose a single HTTP endpoint from Go from a .go file within API index to add the project root. For example, index.go file is within API directory as follows. Go version would be this. Go mods will automatically be detected. Will automatically detect this build configuration if you provide a custom build flags. So in case you want to pass some LD flags, we can do this. Yeah, I think this is fine. We can just continue. No build commands. Yeah, let's try this. The only thing I'm concerned about is it should sort of like identify that there's a Go file that it needs to build. So Vercel Go projects. They must have some examples around this, so let's see if we can find something. Okay. Yeah, okay, done with API. Okay, this is good. If you go back here, yeah, it still seems to be doing its thing. So if I come over here and go to deployments, it says this is ready. So what is that is pending? If we, isn't there a production URL for this? And if there is, what is it called? Yeah, this is the one. So this one should be empty. Okay, this is not something I expected. Oh, nice. Oh, nice, but then the image doesn't look right. You see, like this is getting clipped over here. I don't know why, but something is off. Let's try again. And I think like it's doing a proper cache control as well. So if I refresh, you see I get the image. I think we get the image immediately. So if you look at the timing, so this is the resolution part, which is like 77 milliseconds, and then this is 72 milliseconds. So it's quite fast, I'll say. Let's clear the caches and then try. Yeah, the image is inconsistent here. So let's see on our local what it looks like. Okay, we can sort of do this. Go to main, right? From API, or rather handler dot it's API. Okay, API, the package is called handler, right? So the directory should be called handler as well. Yeah, for a second I can rename this to handler. right? Where did it go? Yeah, it's there. This is fine. This is the one I want to get rid of. I can do handler dot handler, right? And this is something I can like now do. Like let's keep it. Let's add it in a bit. Let's do a HTTP listen serve 8080. Do a nil here and do HTTP handler func, right? So this, what this takes in is we actually need handle func even though it's called handler. The reason for that is we want to define our route as well. So this would be the route, and then HTTP or other handler dot handler is the argument I think we passed to it. Yeah, this is working fine. Let's go run it. We'll go run main.go. Let's do localhost 8080. So images up here are returning just fine. Like I don't see any clipping happening. If I refresh it again, it will download everything one more time. But yeah, I think like the images are coming up consistently. Let's now check this URL in incognito. Yeah, how about we add a, okay, yeah, it might be like a sort of a inconsistent cache thing. Let's see now. Yeah, there's a cache thing here and it will persist for 1 hour, but I think how about we take this URL, right? Do a curl -o. What does this give us back? API, right? So if I try to open API, we get an image back which is busted right over here. And then there's a favicon request, right? Like that is something yeah, that is fine. I don't think that's a problem as such. I just want to validate like if we can sort of fix this in some way. How can we do that? Like let's do something simple as like open JSBin, but yeah, I think like it will still resolve the same for me. It's not really on their server. If I paste it here, yeah, it's immediately resolving the image, right? And then this is the value, and I can't seem to clear the caches. Question mark just sort of gets rid of it. Okay, but then it's further breaking. Okay, yeah, there is some issue here, like wherein the images coming up incorrectly right on this area. Now it is fine. Again, I think like it's a persistent issue where this happens time to time. Yeah, like sometimes it's quite glaring comparatively, sometimes it's less. Yeah, it's there, it's persistent. And my concern is that I can't really reproduce it, so for me to test it out is really difficult. Okay, for how about we temporarily remove the cache headers and then check on the API. So we want to check out, we want to mv handler to API, cannot override directory. Okay, we already have an API thingy, so let's try now. Yeah, the only change we made is like in this file, which is fine. So let's commit the, we just want to remove the cache headers actually. So that would be in index.co. Right here we want to change, we don't want to add this. So we add the API, we do git commit m remove cache headers. I think like the problem is not with the cache headers, but this will at least consistently produce the, okay, and then you see like there's a blank block here as well, which I didn't see earlier. Meanwhile, let me update the main.go to run a server here itself. So we'll do func whttp response writer or http request, something like this, and then we just move all this logic over here and then do, okay, I think we can sort of grab this, some of the parts from here. So we are using we don't really need to do this. We're grabbing these lines from here and pasting them here and then sending back this thing. So we don't need a save collage, and we can keep the profiling on the main. So this is our local, but before I check on our local, I want to check if the deployment was done. Let's close all these tabs. I don't think we need any of them right now. Yeah, so this deployment was done. I go to overview, this URL /API. Yeah, it's getting trimmed and I'm seeing the older image. So, but yeah, with every refresh I see a new image now, and then the image is getting clipped on the top right for some reason. So there certainly is an issue. Now let's run the service on my local, see if we can reproduce this. No. Is the response really so fast that, or is it something else? I wouldn't say it's too fast. It's still 2 seconds, but yeah, I think like because the network is fast, I think we are able to resolve quickly. I think we just are left with this thing, which I'm not really sure how to reproduce. Right, like it's difficult to figure out. About this, right? So we do like go build this thing, right? We have this collage, so we move it to say like my home directory. I go to home directory, I do cd run the collage, right? So this starts my server, seems fine, right? And then I can access this as well. So let me put this in a Docker container and try it out there. And so we'll do docker pull go, and okay, apparently I don't have some login access. Docker logout, docker pull go. Let's also do deploy go applications. Like I think like it might be Byte who has these problems. Docker pull Golang maybe. How to deploy a go? Like I want to find what is the easiest way to deploy. Easiest way to deploy Go applications. What is the easiest way to deploy Go application? I need to know that. Just a second. Just give me a second. Okay. Yeah, I think one way would be to just put it on Lambda. Yeah, that's one way I can think about it. Or maybe it's just an application problem as well, like, but I just want to figure it out. That's why I'm setting up Docker and thinking about doing it on Lambda as well. But see, let's see like if we can do it like quickly. Yeah, why not? Okay. Okay, so the next thing would be I go to Lambda. I don't know how to build binaries for Lambda, so I'll figure that out as well. Author from scratch, the runtime is go 1.x. Let's call it collage. Create. Yeah, I think this is fine. Hopefully I should be able to upload a binary rather than pasting in code. We don't want triggers, we don't want destination, this is fine. Environment variables we don't need in this case. Concurrency, I think like everything else can remain the default. But how do we add the code, function code, right? So okay, this is fine. We need to upload a zip file to edit the function code. What kind of zip do we need to upload? Like what does this contain? Does it contain Go code or does it contain something else? So Golang AWS Lambda. I think before I do this, let me check it on Docker, and I think like I need to head out for a bit. So let me catch up with you guys in a follow-up stream in an hour from now. So that would be a part 2 for this. And by the way, like I think again I've noticed that I might be wrong, but I think like there's some gap here. No, it's fine. I think this part is fine, just that the image is incorrect. It was incorrect. Yeah, it sort of is flaky at times. Yeah, so maybe it's just the code. I'll like once I sort of stream again, will first thing we'll look at is how can we we'll run it on Docker and figure out like if this is just application code that has problems, and then even if it's fine on Docker, then we'll try on Lambda and use Lambda instead of Vercel. All right, thank you folks.